UrbanRcLA, here we are again. This is the second weekend of our Baja build. Chris again's been gracious enough to lend us his garage for this build. Of course, we got all our stuff from davesmotors.com. If you haven't checked out all their 5th scale stuff, definitely get your parts from there. Best price on the internet. Really great guy. Brad, thank you very much. Got some tips just recently from Hemistorm, aka Chris DeGraff, aka Painter Supreme, and we're going to go over some parts that he recommended for me. And again, I want to thank O'Neill Brothers for hooking us up with the engine, the methanol engine, which I've decided I haven't really decided whether or not I'm going to put it in there. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Kind of worried about blowing an engine out within the first time I use it, so maybe I'll go with the stock until I learn this little beast a little bit better. But why don't we take a look at some of the stuff that's going on? Progress update. What I have here first and foremost is I bought the new hex driver set, which was from Dave's Motors. I love it. It's awesome. It's way better than using that tiny thing I got before. I made sure to stock up on beer to make sure that I can get this done in a timely fashion. Here's my Futaba transmitter, which I love. This is where we're at with the build so far. We've got pretty much everything on it. I was missing a part on the front suspension to mount it, so I ended up getting that from Dave and Brad. So I have that to make sure. That's the only piece that I was missing in the kit. Kind of bummed about that, but otherwise it's okay. Over here I have this is the Dark Soul super heavy duty dog bones, and thanks to Chris DeGraff Hemistorm for recommending these awesome boots. They're like super sturdy, and I can't wait to get them on there. Of course I got to swap them out, which is going to be a big pain in the ass. Then I've got the Killer Bee kill switch, which of course I have a small child and I don't want the thing to run off and kill people. Then I got this awesome gas cap, which you don't really need, but it's going to look cool. It's going to look better, a lot better than that stupid thing. Then I got the Turtle Racing enclosed, what is this? Clutch housing, which also Dave's Motors. This is another reason why I love these guys. Is I didn't know that I needed this, but I do. So they included it in the order, which was awesome. Then I got the axle extenders from Dark Soul because I wanted to have a little bit of a wider, beefier stance. Plus Chris was doing that, so that made it really cool. Then I got the bumper because I know for a fact I'm going to crash this thing into something. So rather than lose an entire front suspension arm and everything, I thought I'd get that as a little bit of a precaution. Then I got this top thing, whatever it is, to kind of make it so I can carry it and give it a little bit of sturdiness. It's also starting me on my way to the Baja conversion, which I'm going to do eventually. And then I got some suspension covers because if you look online at these suspensions over here, they are not cheap. So the last thing I want is to lose one due to dirt and grime and rut and all that stuff. So I figured I would go ahead and protect them. Now here is the stock engine that I think I'm going to put in first, just so I can get used to it so I don't lean seize it or anything like that. Chris DeGraff told me about lean seizing, how you can just basically turn your engine into a paperweight. And having spent so much money, and O'Neill Brothers did give us a really good deal on this, but I spent a lot of money on this engine, so I want to make sure that I'm well versed on how to run one of these trucks before I move over to a huge engine, because that way I don't want to, I don't want to just waste the money. So there you have it. And all of this came to me courtesy of ddmracing.com. If you guys are building Bajas, you need parts, and you don't already know, go to ddmracing.com because they got great deals. That's all I got to say about that. So we're going to get started on getting everything upgraded. Then we're going to see if we can get into putting together the engine, and hopefully we'll get to the point where we can test this thing by the end of the night. If not, I'm just hoping that I have the whole thing put together. That's kind of my goal for tonight. Whole thing put together, then maybe tomorrow or next week we can actually break it in and start to run it. This the things that if I was at home, I would be like, you know what? Forget this thing. I'm over it. I don't want to do another second. And then I'd end up with a giant table full of crap. So, lucky for me, Chris is here. We're going to try to work this out.
Yeah, it's starting to come.
But you got like an eighth of an inch.
Yeah, see, we're getting it. It's just not slide because I don't have any way to pull it, so I need to figure out a way to maybe tap this.
So what part of the instructions does it tell you that? That's what I want to know. Come on, you guys.
This is just from working on cars.
Okay, what we had to use, this is the
A metric socket.
a metric socket at the top into the axle. What is it? Hub.
Axle.
Yep.
Or the CV.
And then on the edge of a desk and hammer. So,
And gentle, not hard.
There we go.
We're good.
Woo! Another part overcome in this build.
Oh, here's the culprit. You put too much Loctite on there, buddy.
Uh-oh.
You only need a little bit goes a long way. Just put a little bit on there and put it in. That's what the problem is. Yeah. Alright.
Dang. Too much Loctite. There you go. Too much Loctite.
Yeah, too much. It gets all stuck in there, but we'll be alright.
Alright, another step complete. Got the roof extender on there, which I think is a part of the Baja kit, but I think it makes it easier to carry, and also I think maybe it saves on a lot of the damage that would occur to the aluminum here. So I decided to put that on there because I think that overall it improves the look of the Baja a little bit, gives it that kind of mean, nasty hood scoop feel. So, alright, on to the next piece. Okay, so now I'm on to the motor. Like I told you guys before, I'm going with the stock engine so I can learn how to break it in first. But I have this badass O'Neill Brothers Racing overpowered 8.5 horsepower monster that I'm a little bit afraid to use. And you see it says big shaft in there. That's what I'm talking about. So it's got big shaft. It says overpowered on the plate. All billet aluminum as opposed to this crap. But whatever. I'm planning on exploding this one so that I know how to use it so that when I run this one, I'm not driving a missile. So, alright, so I'm not quite sure about these instructions, never done this before. I don't consider myself the type of guy who could take apart a weed whacker and fix it, but we're going to give it a try. So here we are, almost finished, well not almost finished, just getting to the part where we're putting the meat and potatoes in there. So, let's just dive right in, let's just do this. I'm probably going to see Chris, but I'm going to do it anyways. All right. Okay, here we are. Getting there. We're getting even closer now. You can see I took some time to put the engine in with the Throttle Racing clutch housing, and I got the muffler on there. This is the stock engine that I went with. I'm going to do the O'Neill Brothers one later. So, Dan, we're going to get you in here very soon. But for now, we're going to get started and trained up on this stock engine so that way, if anything goes wrong or if I'm a complete idiot, it'll be safe. But ultimately, I would say the build's going pretty good so far. There's a couple things that have been really tough. I mean, I'm not going to lie, like really, really tough. Like, for example, this little piece right here. That thing right there was the biggest pain in my ass ever, okay? So, if anybody else feels my pain, right on, you must be a fifth scaler. But this is the first time for me, so I'm going to get back to work. I got a lot more left to go. I got a few more hours before I have to call it quits, so I'll check back in with you in a couple minutes. But otherwise, so far, I'd say it's going pretty good. Getting down to the wire here. We're getting closer and closer to the end goal of having a kick-ass Baja. So, what have I learned thus far? Well, I learned that fifth scale is a little bit out of my league. Biggest puzzle I've ever had to put together. I've utilized this is my third day, almost a full day, and I'll probably need a fourth, and then a fifth to test it and warm it up and break it in or whatever. But I think overall, I mean, it's been a fun experience. You can see I've basically gotten down to where I'm about ready to install the throttle and check the radios to make sure everything's working and make sure that I've got the fin on and some of the last minute pieces. But I think it's going pretty well. I think it looks pretty good. So hey, check it out. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. If you like the video, you like the build series, if you like to learn anything, just click the like button. Also, if you have any suggestions for me on parts I could get that might be really cool to have on there, go ahead and put it in the comments section or send me a message. But overall, I really appreciate everybody watching. So stick around because we're going to finish this up, do the body painting. We got to break in the engine. We got to do all that stuff. So if you're interested in watching a newbie try to figure all this out, then you came to the right place. So again, I'd like to thank Dave's Motors for hooking us up, and also for Anil Brothers for giving us the badass engine, which we haven't used yet, but we're going to use. Trust me, we're going to use it. I also want to thank again Chris DeGraff for Hemistorm, and of course DJ Medic for the inspiration. And I'll see you guys in the rcsparks.com forums. All right, check you later. UrbanRcLA out.